that this is helpful, like for just getting here and bringing your awareness to a home before you let it go. So let's do that. So just settle in before anything happens. Just like acknowledge to yourself, I am here in this body. Yep, there's my body. I'm not just floating in thought. Oh, gentlemen, would someone please?
Yeah, we got it.
You guys are golden. Thank you. And let your shoulders soften. Check your face to see if you're holding any tension in your jaw. Can you soften that just a little? Around your eyes. And as you soften your face, feeling that softening, that warmth, move down your neck. As it passes through your shoulders, they just soften a little bit more. This next one, watch how the world comes in to replace the bell. Let your edges soften. Simply being here with the sensations of sitting, the sounds of the room, and the shimmering lights dance inside your closed eyes. Let's move directly into a mindful activity. On the screen behind me is a painting by a painter. Does anybody recognize the painter? Anybody know this painter? He paints giant, just like this thing is probably, like 8 feet across. It's Mark Rothko. And let's use this to practice a skill that we've been practicing all semester. Basically, how do you look at a piece of art? So, right now, we're going to spend a few minutes looking at this painting and let things just come. Whatever comes to you, if it's analysis, if it's feeling. The softer you get, the more this painting will reveal itself. And we're going to write about it just a little bit. Try to watch how your perception changes. What we're doing now is what I'm going to ask you to do with a tree on campus. It's the beginning of the process. How are you involved in what's happening right now with your perception of this painting? How have you changed just during the course of this 2 to 3 minutes we've been sitting here? Not in a profound way maybe, but something has changed. What is that? And we're going to share in a little bit about things that we're feeling and seeing in this. And I'd like to ask you to watch how your own perception changes as you hear what other people say. Really doing kind of a study on ourselves, which is not new. That's what we do every day on campus. So I would ask you, friends, to grab a piece of paper and just write about what just happened. No wrong answers. Ideally about your perception of this painting. friends, let's share a little bit. Oh, a few folks still writing. Go slowly here. Anyone care to open us with their thoughts on this? Like, just, no wrong answers. What do you think of this painting? Do you like it? Just a ton. Yeah.
To me, it kind of feels like a memory that's been long since forgotten. It feels like something that's, as time goes on, it starts to fade and blur more and more.
Wow.
Because I don't know if this is just me, but I see a lake in the mountains with trees, and the bottom half is a cabin sticking out.
Wow. Yeah. I see what you're talking about. I love your opening to that. That's beautiful framing. Thank you. Yeah.
Mine is kind of similar with like the memory, but like I kind of saw my childhood piano because I sat at the piano like every day for hours, and it got to the point where I didn't want to be there, and so it just made me so sad. Like that's just what reminded me of like piano.
Wow, so this picture produces a little maybe anxiety or something?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. Yeah. Talia, it sounds like that was a good memory for you though. Yeah. Interesting. Kenzie.
Mine was kind of like Talia's, and I kind of pictured like a river in the middle and the city like on the side and in the background. So it made me feel really calm, and it was kind of like a place that I wanted to be in because it was just so relaxing because of the blue.
Yeah. Yeah, the blue is soothing. Yeah, definitely. Nice positive experience. Not the having art is all about having experiences, right? If you felt anything, you succeeded. Do you have anything you want to share?
I just said I like the division, like the clear cut of the different colors. I like how the top doesn't have a lot of shades, but the bottom you can kind of see the difference.
Yeah, the bottom really, I think the bottom's wild, even though it's just like these strips of color. Right? This painting is called Blue, Green, Brown. That's the title of this painting.
It's a rectangle.
It's a what?
Rectangle.
It is a rectangle. It is Rectangleville. Indeed, it is. Somehow I made it though. Somehow I'm doing all right. Keeping my shit together. What do you think about this, Quinn?
Not a whole lot.
That's cool. That's okay too.
Don't see much of it.
Cool. Ebenezer felt like did I mistake? I'm like an auctioneer, like looking for little subtle movements. Okay.
Spark.
Got nothing. Anything over here, Shay?
I saw a building and people.
A building?
Like, that side is like buildings, and then it's like a lake, and then there's people like that. And then like trees.
Yeah, what are you making those things in the front, like the lowest part? Is that like resonating for you in any way?
No, I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a blue part I see.
It definitely feels like a barrier to me, like some kind of a barrier, like the piano or a wall or maybe the edge of a boat, because I definitely got the vibe of being out there. Did you notice how, like when you first look at it, what do you see? Just kind of the color, right? Like the first thing you see is just that blue, brown, green. That's about it. And then that top starts to really morph into all sorts of stuff. Did anybody see anything besides like a city? Because I definitely was seeing that too, a harbor, something like that. Anybody catch anything else from that, Deacon?
No, I didn't really. It was kind of, I don't know. Like I kind of thought like it could be like a dream, like when you try to like the blue kind of being like a positive like thought, but then the green and brown kind of being like the negative thoughts trying to intrude.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, that's nice.
That's just kind of how I thought of it.
No, I like it. Definitely a barrier and definitely a change of mood. That bottom rectangle is really wild. especially with the light coming through. So this would be a very different experience if we were there, because you could stand in front of it and be engulfed by it, right? You like go up to it and it's like more than you can take in at once. And we'd also be able to get up there and see the texture of the paint. I mean, that's one of the great things about going to a museum, right? You get to like see the technique in the paintings, the 3D-ness of the brush strokes.
Field trip.
What's that?
Field trip.
Field, I know, I was thinking, field trips are such a pain in the ass. But we'd get, maybe I could convince Kitra to help us out, because she's got like van access.
Yeah, she's a good driver too.
Is she a good driver?
She's a really good
Oh, good. That's good. Alrighty, friends. No more trying to pull teeths and other things on this. Thought it was a nice, relaxing way to start, and an excellent segue into your first major assignment. It's a disturbingly small number of these right here. Okay, hopefully. There should be 16 of these, but it's feeling very not 16-ish as I grab that packet. And if it's not, I'm gonna have to get you more copies. Let's see, there's mine. Okay, I need to go make copies. I made 16 of these, but there aren't 16 here. So just give me a second, please. I'm just gonna make more copies. I like doing things on my own printer. I'll be right back. I guess I didn't do it well. slowest stapler in the world. It's like, you'll see. It's weird. It does this, like, you know, people twist the corners of the paper up to, quote, staple, unquote. I've never seen this before. Isn't that wild? It's cool. It feels, you're welcome. It's got a nice texture. I like the way it feels.
Oh,
Absolutely. I printed one for her. And she had emailed me. I know she's not feeling good, so.
I kind of want to hot.
Yeah, well, yeah. Dig into her, right? And can someone pick one of these up for our friend Monique? Anybody go see Monique? Ooh, you get the real staples. You get real staples. All right, let's go through this and make sure everybody understands what it is I'm looking for. So this looks like this is quite a bit here. You know, it's like a pretty big assignment looking. And it should encompass about 6 weeks of the semester, which is, it's okay if this, I appreciate you. It's not super exciting. So that's like about half the semester. This is gonna start today and it'll run up through the end of October, essentially. And so like the nature of our class and what's gonna be happening here is gonna change a little bit. We're still gonna have discussions. We're gonna talk about things that are relevant to this paper and things that you're having trouble maybe figuring out how to compartmentalize or just get together in your brain, make sense of. And we're gonna do a lot of peer editing. So some of the days will be like, come on in, we're gonna work on Papers Day, and I'll be here to consult. We will pair up, you will trade your paper with a friend, and you will read each other's papers and give feedback, and a few other things. So let's just kind of go through this together. Let's actually just read it together. So there's a couple inspirational quotes there. William Blake was one of my foundational inspirations when I was like 16. He was a mystical poet, set the course for much of my life. So read through those 2 quotes there. I don't think I want to read them. I just kind of want to start. So I'm actually not even going to read all this. I'm just going to give you the outline, but you need to read through all of this. The first part is me like talking about rectangles, right? What a shock. And I'm talking about how I talk about rectangles. So please read through that because I think it sets the framework for what I'm looking for in this paper. We're trying to see, we're finding a dividing line between us and nature. And so really this comes down to a fundamental experiment that I want you to use to inform this entire paper. So let's actually turn to that. Please do read through that first page. But turn to the second page, it's on the back, the foundational exploration. This is really important, and I really want you to do this. And I mean, like in general, when I ask people to do stuff and they don't do it, it shows. Like, it will show if you really do this. Like, I can tell, I've been teaching a long time, I know how to fake stuff out, I know how to make it look like I did stuff, and I know how to read when somebody's making it look like they did stuff. So please do this experiment. Let's talk about that experiment. It's got a really weird title, treeing, seeing, viewing, seeing, treeing. I'll explain that in a bit. I want you to walk around campus. And find a tree. This is an arboretum. You should be able to find, if you cannot find a tree on campus here, you'll never find a tree in your life. There's a lot of freaking trees. Walk around in a state of receptivity. Maybe you already know a tree that you feel like an affinity for. You can probably picture, there's like some trees that just automatically make themselves known to us, right? Like the big tree you can like go sit under it, like I forget what kind of tree it is, like a chestnut or something, I don't know what it is. but it's out by one of the dorms. That tree's beautiful. But there's lots of trees, and each of us is a unique individual. So I want you to find a tree, and I want you to get to know that tree. What does getting to know the tree mean? That means taking some notes. What kind of a tree is this? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What are its leaves like? What is it like to be near this tree? Very similar to this, looking up here at this piece of art, we're going to, in a state of receptivity, be with this tree and perceive this tree. And then I want you to do a very specific mindfulness activity. You can do this sitting or standing, however you want. We've done it in this class. You're going to open up your senses. You're going to have wide awareness, floodlight awareness. So check this out. I start off with focused awareness on the tree. Details, deets, cut it up into little pieces. What is all that? Then I sit back and I relax and I let it fall and flow over me. And I sit with that, not judging, trying to just let me and the tree be together, observing what happens while I do that. And I've got some very specific instructions. If you're like, what does he want me to do? I'll tell you right here in steps 1 through 8. Then I would like you to set aside, so I've set aside time for this. Like go, okay, I'm going to go do this at this point in time. Go do that at that time. Don't just like casually do this. Make this formal. This is a formal practice. Make this a formal activity. Then I would like you to set aside time for contemplation of what just happened. It could be right after that. That wouldn't be bad. Maybe set aside an hour. I'm going to go look at the tree. I'm going to go be with the tree. Then I'm going to go write about the tree. I've got a whole hour in there. Yeah, please read through that. What I'm looking for is, where is the dividing line? Where does the tree end? Where do you start? Where do you end and the tree starts, if that even is possible at all? There's no wrong answers for this paper. However, I'm going to ask you to argue your point. So you might say, I end at my skin. This is an example. I don't think, like for me, this would not be the right answer. I end at my skin, and the tree ends at its bark, and there is a space between us. That's one perspective. That's called dualism. That's a dualistic perspective where there are two. There's me observing the tree. There's the tree, if you believe, being aware of me. Now, trees actually are aware, right? They're all sentient beings are aware. It's just not the same awareness that we have. You have to be aware to live. Try to like survive. So, where is that line? Make a stand on that. We've read some stuff. We theoretically have read some stuff. Your mileage may vary on how much of that stuff you've read and watched. But you should have a sense of what the possibilities are. And if you need more materials, I will get them for you. Absolutely. I would like you to work on this before Wednesday if possible. On Wednesday, Charlie Toth is going to come in and do a thesis statement workshop with us. You don't have to have your thesis statement. In fact, let's look at the schedule on the back. Here's the schedule that I've set up. We will modify this if we need to, but I think it's a pretty good schedule. I want you to spend 2 weeks simply putting your thoughts together, getting your perspective on this. What do I really believe? What do you really believe? That's the key. Come from a place you can support emotionally and intellectually. And I won't argue with you. If you do a good job arguing it, all you need to do is present me with a good argument, a well-written argument, and you're good, no matter what your stance is. So weeks 1 and 2, starting today, brainstorming and outlining your paper, just thinking about main arguments you want to make. Wednesday is going to help a lot with that. So that's why I think it would be useful to do a little thinking ahead of time. If you could even do this experiment before class on Wednesday, you'll be doing yourself a favor, I think. But you don't need to start thinking because you've thought about stuff like this a lot already. So the first couple weeks are just like, what do I believe? We will have discussions about all this stuff. And then week 3, you should be starting to write a draft. So that's October 9th. And I'm going to want you to schedule a consultation with the Writing Center somewhere along in this process. So part of your grade, I'll set up a rubric, I don't have that for you yet, but part of your grade involves going to the Writing Center and getting consultation. And part of your grade involves being here to work with people when we do that. Week 4, have your draft ready for peer review. So that's going to be like the first day that you need to come here with a copy printed and for yourself, a copy printed for your partner, and you're going to swap and take the whole class to give each other feedback. And I'll help guide you on what kind of feedback you should give and how to look at that. Let's see, so then week 5, you're going to revise your paper based on that feedback and get a second draft going. And get a second draft going based on all the feedback you've had. Week 6 is like, your paper should be done by Halloween. Like it should be mostly done that Halloween week. I know you're going to want to go to parties and all sorts of stuff like that, and Halloween week is a big week. This is due that week, so I've set it up so your paper should be like, oh, I just need to tweak a few things here and there. So 6 weeks to write a paper that is, let's look at the requirements. Look on page 3, under step 3, drafting your paper. Format. Your paper should be between 2,000 and 2,500 words. This document is 1,800 words. So this thing is 1,800 words at 11-point font, which is what I ask you to use in the next line. So this is like a 4 to 5 page paper is what I'm looking for. Using a reasonable font, not using like Comic Sans or something, you know, like blown up to 20 point. So it's not crazy, it's a pretty reasonable size. Spacing, just make sure it's double spaced. It'll probably end up being like 8 pages, double spaced, 8 to 9 pages. It'll look substantial, it'll look awesome. Include a header, include a title, come up with an awesome title, and then just organize your paper into clear sections. What I'm going to grade you on is how seriously you actually took this experiment. Like, how did you actually do this? Are you taking this assignment seriously? And how well you craft your argument. So like, I'm not an English person. I can't go in there and go, oh, there's like, I don't even know what to say, you know, like, oh, you're using imperfect tense here where you should use, I don't even know the shit. I don't know anything about grammar, but I know how to read and I know how to think, and I just need you to convince me. Just a solid, cogent argument. As a mathematician, good arguments are like my bread and butter, and that's what will matter most to me. So what I'm hoping is that in this process, first off, you maybe get some self-exploration out of this, and you learn a little bit about the idea of no self, which we've talked about before. And you'll certainly, no matter what your stance is on this, where you think the dividing line between you and the tree is, you will have to encounter this idea. You will have to encounter the idea of dualism and essentially versus no self. This is a non-dualistic point of view. And so you'll have to like kind of a touch on everything we've done this semester. And I think that's about it. I don't want to put a lot of restrictions on. I just want you to try. I want you to write a good argument. And at first, this is going to seem maybe overwhelming. That's why we're going to take 2 weeks to like just start like going, wait, what do I know? What do I think? And I've got all the details in there that I think should help you. So please, please, please do read through this. in its entirety. And that's about it, my friends. On Wednesday, Charlie's gonna be here. So I'm gonna let you go. You might wanna go try this experiment right now. It wouldn't be that bad. You've got, like, you're out 25 minutes early. It would be great to come in here Wednesday with that experiment completed. So are there any questions? Is there anything like you're concerned about? Oh, you look so tired. Do you have any questions or concerns? Because we can talk about them as they arise, you know. I'm always here for you. Cool, not a bad Monday. Yeah? All right, right on, friends.